Hello, welcome to the Button Live. Today I thought we'd explore the single curriculum that I promised from a previous homeschool video. So this curriculum that you see before you is the curriculum provided by Abeka. And this is the homeschool curriculum, not the video curriculum. They look a lot similar. But there is a lot to this curriculum, as you can see. Then we will get into more details here. And there's the mathematics, the history, the science, and the language. So the first one we're looking at here is the math. So you get the teacher key. It gives you all the answers to everything that is in the student book, which is this book right here. It's very colorful, very interactive. My little one, he loves it especially. And it keeps you on track. Now you get a test key and a student key. You can choose to do the speed drills if you want to. I don't, but to each their own. And it gives you, again, all the answers as well as how to grade, like how many points something is worth. This is your bread and butter here. I do not have the charts or the placement values, but you can get them for the first time. This is amazing. If you've never taught, you need the teacher key. So this is just an overview. It tells you like lesson 1, how to prepare, gives you steps, all your materials, your visuals that you can use, how to write things on the board, have your procedures, how you're going to teach it, how you teach the different concepts separately, the cards that you can use or the different flashcards, and then again how to finish it up, how to do the application, and then how to also do like combination practices if that's something you want to do. And it continues on. The next one, it gives you whole details. So you can go through and you can read these before, jot little notes for yourself and prepare. As you get into it, it'll tell you when to do speed drills, it'll tell you when to do tests, which I find awesome. In the back, it gives you games and activities that you can do if you wish, other games that help. It gives you little songs that you can sing to help with certain concepts, like a rectangle. Gives you the addition and subtraction families that you're going to learn and go through. Like I said, I don't do flashcards, but here this curriculum does. I like it because of how it breaks it down for you. It's the easiest way. If you've never homeschooled, this is the way to go because it shows you how to set it up. Other curriculums aren't as comprehensive. In the back is a planning calendar. I make copies. I don't tear them out because then I can write my lessons and my tests and I can plan vacations. Abeka is unique in that you can give progress reports. So it tells you when to give the tests, and you basically, it's just as if you were sending your child to school and you were getting progress reports. You can track it that way. Now the language, as you can see, is pretty much 75% of the bulk of the curriculum. So you get teacher keys for each of your books if you want to. At least that's what I do. It gives all the answers to everything that's going to be taught, the pages in the book, the spelling. Also gives the answers, and there's some cute poems so your child works on memorization and different suggestions for how to teach something. Now, the language is unique in that it includes a daily schedule. So it tells you what you can do, when you can do it. Now, I don't do half of this schedule. Again, homeschooling is about making it your own and what fits your lifestyle. So that's just an idea of when you can start, how long it should take you. Tells you how to do the spelling, how you're going to do the poetry. So let's take a look here. So you would say lesson 89, you're going to do your phonics and language. You're going to do your reading in the AM, gives you the procedures. You're also going to have your PM reading, how to do your spelling and your poetry, and then how you're going to go about doing your writing. And it'll tell you tests and anything else you want to do. There's also seat work. And what is pretty unique about the back here is it shows you examples of how to grade the writing. It shows you in Appendix E the phonics and the language. So it'll show you like what you're teaching specifically, how it relates, the breakdown of it. So, you know, the first week, the second, third, XYZ. And then here it gives a literal breakdown of the lesson. So if you finally are in your groove and you just want page numbers, that's what you would do. And again, here's a calendar so you can plan that separately for you. Now, I bought this one used, so it did not have the progress reports in it, but you also get the letters and sounds tests, which are your spelling tests and your language tests combined into one. This is the writing that I chose, and I chose the cursive one. So that's just a preview of what it looks like and what you will get. There's tests in the back and they're practice in the front. You do have to buy the writing tablet separate. This is where my youngest writes his spelling words, and we do write in cursive. And that's just an overview of the spelling and poetry book. And then here you have your 2 language books. Now the readers, there are 9 readers for the first grade. And we go through and we read a story and a poem every day. So he's gone through half of the books here. There are a lot of them, and these readers, they can add up, but honestly, they're perfect. It teaches in tune with the language that they're learning in the spelling words. And here we have the history, science, and health one. So the difference between this one is there's no tests, and all the answers are here in this book. So instead of like the separate one had the language curriculum and then the teacher keys are included in this curriculum. And here we have the books. Now we have done the history so far this year, so yay! We finished with that one. And then we have the health, and it is very basic foundational history. And then here you have health and safety manners, just very basic things. Then you have the community helpers, the policemen, the doctors, that goes over all of those, nurses. And then that is basically our science, which this is what we are going to be doing during the spring and summer. These are pretty neat visual cards. Like my 5, well, he's 6 now, he loves them. And they go in time with the curriculum that you're doing. So that is the whole curriculum.
And for a beginner, it's perfect. All the subjects are, of course, meshed together because they're all made by one curriculum. So it's easier for you to teach that way. You can just mesh it and go with it. If it's your first time teaching, I do recommend that. That specific curriculum, and I'd say 50% of homeschool curriculums now have like a video course that you can buy where it's pre-recorded classes of a teacher with children in the setting, and your child just sits and watches the class, and they can yell at the TV and participate that way, and you're the moderator. Now, I buy all of my stuff except for the books where they write and used, so that first grade set, if I bought it all brand new, I'm looking at about $600 because it's Abeka. Now, when I go through my used sites where I can buy almost everything except for the things you write in, like the writing, the spelling, I mean, technically, if no one writes in the spelling, you can sell your spelling book used. I paid, I think, about $250 for the whole first grade set, and some of the readers I had gotten, oh my goodness, I was gifted the readers by other moms, so those readers are very old, but they're still part of the curriculum. They just update with new stories in the readers, but if it's just new stories put in the readers and the same reader will work, it's just got a couple stories that are older, then I use it. To me, it's not a problem. Then you have the language. Now, Abeka language and phonics, they teach you the basic sounds and some of the basic rules, but they don't give you like concrete phonetic rules. So your child asks, Mommy, why do we say this way? You look in your Abeka phonetics book and it doesn't give exactly why. So in second grade, the next video that I'm going to post about mixed curriculums, the Horizons gives you the phonetic rule breakdown. Now I liked the breakdown, but I did not like the books for my children. They were not, there was a struggle of comprehension for my 7-year-old, and then it could be because some children learn differently than others and think differently, and he just wasn't prepared. I mean, we're going through it, we're going to finish it, but next year for second grade for my youngest, I am going to go back to the Abeka, but I'm going to take the rules from Horizons and apply those phonetics so I can answer all of the phonetic questions that my children have, because now we can understand why a soft C is a soft C, and it just makes life easier for me to teach that way. For mathematics, I like the Abeka style. They learn pretty well. I'm going to be honest with you, Abeka is not going to prepare you for high-level mathematics. So if your child's looking at being a physicist, a scientist, an engineer, anything that requires high-level math, you do want to shop around for different curriculums. By about the 5th or 6th grade is when you want to start doing that. So kind of middle school before high school. Yeah, middle school before high school is when you want to start doing that. But if you're just going to do basic math, understanding how to add, subtract, do percentages, understand APR, that sort of thing, which you should because buying houses, buying cars, anything that you lease loan will have an APR, then Abeka is the one for you. And Abeka, honestly, the basic mathematics is what everybody should learn. I like the readers. They are age appropriate. They are harder than a public or private school reader selection that I have found around here. And again, this is for my state, Nebraska, so your state might be different. And it's okay if your child doesn't read at that level. I recommend, like, we read through the summers. I don't let them have a break. And I have found that it has helped them retained. I mean, I have, for context, my first grader is just turned 6 in January, and he's reading first grade books, and he is doing awesome. My second grader can read third grade reading, so he's actually ahead, third/fourth grade reading, but they each have their strengths and differences. I have found when we look at the curriculum, you'll notice I did cursive writing instead of print writing. For kindergarten, I did print. Print easy to start teaching the letters that help them associate sound with letters. First and second grade, and going on third and fourth grade, I'm going to continue with the cursive writing because I have found that with them in the cursive writing, they are able to read different fonts. So we got to think about this in the future. I mean, most things are printed in sans, or comics fonts on the computers, but if there's any italics, any parentheses, anything where the font is different, I have found in my high schoolers that they can't read it. They personally, that if they write cursive and read cursive, they are able to pretty much read most fonts and italics and bold, and it doesn't throw them off. But I've noticed other children that do print have a hard time reading anything else that's written in a different type of font, even different type of print fonts, Arial, Edwardian script, just to name a few. So by doing the cursive writing, that's what I do now. Will I stop? Yes, I'll stop in a few of these grades. And I'm not doing it because it's one of those lost arts to revive. I'm doing it because, at least for me, the patterns that I've tracked and observing other children is cursive taught in the few formative years, like third, fourth grade, you can even drop it after second grade, actually has improved reading. Like, there is a difference between my kindergarten and printing and cursive. I had him reread some of the first kindergarten books, and yes, a lot of it is practice and that sort of thing. But once he started doing cursive, there was a connection. The same with my other son. Once we started cursive in first grade, the reading also clicked. And they're different ages. So when we started first grade with my other son, who is now in second grade, he was 6. So he was 6 through all of first grade because of when his birthday falls. And my other son was 5 in first grade, and now he's 6. So there is a big difference in development and brain and comprehension that happens during that time. So that's personally why I did it, and you do what's good for you. And then let's see, the health, science, history. Here in the state of Nebraska, they're not necessarily necessary. Half of them, something that introduces basic health, basic safety, like wash your hands, and why we brush our teeth, and how long we should brush our teeth, and we go to the doctor, and XYZ. Now, the science I haven't done, and I'm not going to do till actually in a few weeks here, spring and summer. Because with my children, they love to see the science in action. We planted a garden, caught some cabbage moths that destroyed my cabbage, but we put them in a jar, and we were able to watch them eat, form a cocoon, pupate, and emerge into moths, and then we release them. And now, when we study the metamorphosis process, my children remember back and scream and go, "Mommy, yes, we remembered." And I forget what they named their moth, but they remember it. So I have now decided to do spring and summer. I do the science because it's very interactive, very hands-on. We go outside for the science lessons. We get dirty. We mix things up. We have fun in the yard. So you do what's good for you. If some curriculums work, then go for it. If this first curriculum doesn't work, I'm going to be honest with you, try to buy used. That way your money's not down the drain if you can. Don't be afraid. The first year will be the hardest. I'm going to be honest with you. Stick through it. Stick through the one curriculum for the first year, even if you're struggling a while. It will take you about half a school year to get down especially if you never homeschooled, to get down how to teach your child. And your children will be different. So how you teach them will change. One child may need to sit, one child may need to walk around. I have one of my children has to stand up while they're writing. They can't sit down. So he's jumping around, he's bouncing on a ball, but he's doing his schoolwork. And that's okay. That is what homeschooling is, to help our children do the best that they can. So I'm here to encourage you as a first time mom. Whoa, as a first time homeschool mom, to take the plunge. I'm here. Answer any questions, comments, drop below. I'll help you the best I can. Remember, I'm more versed in the state of Nebraska and a bit in Texas because I was homeschooled there as well. So the rules are a bit different. But drop any questions you have below. There are homeschool groups you can join on Facebook, homeschool mamas that you can follow on Instagram. It is a good community.